Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Mash and Drum Whiskey Wednesday night. That is right. I am Jason C. Welcome back to the show, guys. Tonight we have a lot of stuff to catch up on, including whiskey news, new bottles, new samples. There's a lot of stuff going on right now, including we're going to open up this little hitter right here, which I have opened up, but I do want to... I don't know. I was a little unsure of it the first pour, so I wanted to kind of give it its due diligence here and try it again. I've heard really good things about it. I mean, I don't know. I think the first time I had it, I was a little bit locked in here, and still on 23A, which I probably will pull out here just to compare it to. So, oh, it's too high. Sorry, too high. Let me lower that. That a little bit, guys. Is that a little lower? Mic check, mic check. Hot mic, a little bit lower, a little lower. Sounds like doo-doo. Oh, great. Is that a little better? I kind of lowered it there. Let me actually lower that a little bit. How's that sound? A little better? Better. All right, better. We are good to go. Yeah, I had to lower a little bit. Sorry, guys. I'm like messing around with this new like interface, and I guess I'm just kind of learning as I go along. So all right, audio like an AC/DC concert. That's better. Okay, I'll try not to yell too much. Let's see here, guys. Yeah, so like I said, we'll be doing Stagg 23C here, and we'll be putting it against a couple of other favorites that I have, including the 22A. Sorry, 22A. So. Which one is better, 22A or 23A? I like 22A, Daryl, just to kind of get that question out of the way. 22A, I think, is one of the best releases they've had in a long time. I think it kind of goes, near batch 12, which I really enjoy. It's still my favorite batch of all time, right up there with number 9. There are a couple of good ones in the teens, 14, 15, 16. I know there are people that really enjoy that one. But again, let's be honest, guys. Every Stagg is a good Stagg. I mean, you're just nitpicking at this point. So, let's see here. Sounds perfect. That's better. Okay, everyone. Sounds better. Sorry, I was coming in hot. 22B was super. Yeah, I agree. I think 22B was super solid as well. I do like that one, man. You still seem to have a Yankee accent. Yeah, maybe I'll check the audio again. Yeah, we still have our fancy picture change here. So whenever I want to switch up the camera view a little bit, so this is kind of the new interface I'm trying to perfect here for you guys. Just to kind of give you a different view of the whiskey room, some new bottle shots there. I kind of dig this setup. It's a little fun. So all right, let's go back here. All right. So what do I have in my glass to start the night off with? I'm starting the night off with New Riff Single Malt. I was recently in Kentucky and stopped by. I hadn't tried this one yet. Actually, it's a good indication to try to get this in the frame there. There it is, New Riff Single Malt. I know people are still kind of not so sure, a little bit shy about American Single Malt, but I feel like that it could be getting a little better here. I don't know. I was kind of, I've always loved pretty much what single malt or what New Riff does with rye whiskeys, but I really wanted to kind of get into some of their single malt process. I heard it's pretty good. I don't know if you guys have tried anything in the chat, but first let's say hi to you guys in the chat real quick. So let's see here. Let me come back up and say hi to Mamuka is here. What's going on, Mamuka? Mark S is in the house. Sandeep Chima. Joey B. What is going on, Joey? EJ is here. We have Roscoe P. Coltrane. Justin Jenkins in the house. We got Warren Smith. Stephen Walt. Russ L. Adam Hinson. What's going on, Adam? Nice to see you. You just got your holy cannoli. Congrats, man. Josh Fritz in the house. What's going on, Josh? Abrods is here. Michael Speakerman. Chris Buzalencia. What's going on, buddy? Nice to see you as always. Slopshots Roadhouse. Cheers, man. Doug H is here. 4 Leaf Whiskey. What is going on? Nice to see you as always. Let's see here. I know Stacy's getting excited. It's getting very close to St. Patty's Day. I know she's popping bottles, popping good, hard to find Irish whiskeys. What's up, Shemmy? Nice to see you, man. Whiskey Juices here. Daryl Pessler, Larceny C20. Forgot how good it is. Oaky chocolatey gem. Dude, Larceny C923 is kind of a gem. T. Jarrett here. Tony G. Roger Reese. JG in the house. What's going on, man? Raging Irishman, who I just saw on the freaking airplane randomly. On what was that, dude? That was Sunday. So I took a trip out to Ben Holiday, which I'll talk about here in a little bit. Let's see here. Daryl Pessler. I think I said hi to you. Richard H is here. Casey House. James Lay. What is going on, buddy? Cool Running is here. Let's see. Bearded Bourbon. Jared O'Connor. Kenneth Rathburn. Yes, Kenneth, we are trying the 23C. So we're ready. We're doing these. We're getting into it. James Lay. Let's freaking go. There you go, James. Eric Sawyer is here. Oh, sound is echoing. Okay. Yeah, I turned that down. Let me get back to no crotch shot though, Jason. No, we might set up a floor whiskey cam. Would you guys like to see a floor whiskey cam? That could be fun. And you guys could pick anything from the floor whiskey I got to drink. We'll do a floor whiskey. Do a floor whiskey cam. Old Line American Single Malt out of Maryland is doing amazing things. If you guys want to find a really, really good American Single Malt, Old Line is up there for sure. What's up, Brian? Nice to see you as always. I see Roy R does good things. Buffalo Bourbon Enthusiast is here. Did you get the 8-year New Rip? I did get it, but somebody, so good old Jeffrey Wack from Hello Again Whiskey Friends picked it up for me. I have not had a chance to try it. He hasn't sent it to me yet, but you will see a review for that one. Eric Farrar, I snagged the Hughes Bella Bedford, our bourbon pick, and it has a weird moldy apple note. It must be something I'm sensitive to because someone I gave a sample to didn't say anything about it. Man, Eric, that could be a moldy apple note. I mean, if it's a rye pick, and those ryes are about 10, 11 years old, Eric, and if that's what you're picking up, I'm not sure if it's exactly apple as it is kind of like that sour rye note that you can get sometimes, especially on older ryes. So, but if you're saying sour apple, then I believe you. I mean, every palate picks up different stuff. You're probably not wrong. But some of those high ryes, some of those high age ryes could get a little bit on the sour side. So yeah, maybe you did pick that up for sure. David Vulture, just thanks for the help earlier today. Anytime, man. Bourbon Liquor is here. What's up, Bourbon Liquor, Mr. Great Shot? Where are we going next week? All right, I'm just gonna scroll all the way down because I'll just be doing this. Josh Fritz, a whole collection video. I should do that one night. I don't know logistically how I can make that happen because it's just me. You know, I would have to get maybe like a production crew to come in here and move the camera around. And I mean, I could do that. With the second. I just added that. So this second camera I kind of added just to have a different shot. But I could see maybe using that one a little bit to film the collection. And I got to say, guys, my collection has really dwindled down. I got to say, well, I mean, that's not true. I'm not going to say my collection has dwindled down. I'll say my collection has. I've stopped buying as much as I used to. I'll just say that. And I know that's hard to say, like when I'm just, doing reviews all the time. I'm much more selective. I don't think I buy as many single barrels as I used to. I tend not to hunt as much for all the bottles that like I used to do. And maybe the word is just I've become more selective. And I don't know. I feel like that's something a lot of people are doing. I don't typically buy a bottle anymore, just pure on a whim. Usually, I look for, I research it. I find if anybody else is enjoying it. I mean, you guys let me know in the chat. Like, are you finding yourself to be that way? Were you always that way? Because there was a point where I was buying everything. I didn't care what it was, and I think we all kind of get into that area, especially when we're getting into bourbon and whiskey. But there's just a lot of that happens, I think. Yeah, same here. Is this filter you're using a bit dark tonight? Yeah, it's a little bit of a warmer filter. So yeah. What are you using for streaming? I can use a phone to NDI out to my streaming rig to move around. Oh, Bruzel's in the house. What's going on, Bruzel? What are you using? I can use a phone to NDI out to my streaming rig to move around. Yeah, I mean, I could definitely do that, Bruzel. But the problem, well, yeah, I could do it right here. Just I couldn't get all the way, like my bunker is all the way, back there. So yeah. Yes, becoming more selective. There's only so much space you could have for your traveler collection. Yeah, true. It's not Dill. I have a Temple of Tenure that's really dilly, and I like that one. I also have a Redemption Tenure. I don't know. I mean, it's something I've gotten from Rittenhouse once and an Iron Root once. Okay. Yeah, you know what? If Nancy Fraley jumps in, that might be a good person to talk to about that. I like the new lid, Jason. Yeah, a little green river lid. Yeah, 100% more selective. I think it like gets into me for where it's almost like there are very few single barrels I'll buy all the time. I still buy Russells when they come up. Obviously, you guys know I'm a huge Russell's Reserve fan, and I just can't get enough of of those picks. And then on top of that, you have Four Roses single barrels. I'll usually buy pretty much each one of those. Jack Daniels, I think I would throw up there. I'm not really chasing a lot of Buffalo Trace stuff anymore. I mean, you guys probably know that. I do like, honestly, Stagg. I do like to try, different Staggs. And if there's one I really like, I'll probably chase it. Colonel Taylor Barrel Proof. Those are really hard to find, especially at retail. Obviously, Elijah Craig Barrel Proof is always up there. Booker's I've been selective with. But there are a lot of bourbons out there that I'm probably not buying anymore. So if I want to do a review of it, I'm going to have to do a little bit of a sample swap with somebody in order to get those whiskeys. The big one I'm hunting right now, guys, is the Heaven Hill 18-year. It's not the Masters collection. It's the Heritage collection. The Heaven Hill 18-year Heritage collection. Trying to put out all the feelers out there to try to find one at retail. I don't know if that's going to happen. If I have to go to secondary, I might. I don't want to because it's an expensive bottle already on secondary. So we'll see where it goes. I'm with you, Jason. I'm buying hunting so far this year. Only bought one bottle. There's too much whiskey to buy them all, says Bruzel. Yeah, I agree, man. It really is a tough. It's kind of a tough, balance because you get and then like if you find something new that you really like, then you want to start stocking up on those because you just don't know how long the popularity is going to last. Like case in point, Rebecca's Creek out of Texas, the Spanish Oak, some of the other ones. Amazing whiskey, good high age on them. They have double oak. They have a Spanish oak that are phenomenal. And when those first hit, people were buying those up in droves. So I think it just depends on the moment, when and where. I mean, it happens with a little bit of everything, across the whiskey verse. So do you have a Booker's Rye, says Bourbon Social? I had one. And I shared it and it's gone. And I don't have another. Like some of the notable bottles I have, I mean, I have a few Dusties left. Oh, that's the other thing I stopped buying was Dusties. I don't really spend the money on a lot of Dusties anymore. I just can't do it. I was buying Pre-Fire Heaven Hill for a little while there. Obviously, Old Wild Turkey. But I just stopped. I just, I don't know. So a lot of the extra bottles that I get are normally either barrel picks or obviously I get bottles sent to me. Some of these were sent to me, which we'll go through a little bit later. But I don't know. It's an interesting question to kind of see like where people are in their bourbon journey, because I still run into people that are just still getting into it and they're buying everything. So I think it's just interesting to see the people go through the stages that I went through, that I know that others went through. Awesome to see Bruzel here, man. Bruzel, we got to do a collab here soon. I don't know what that looks like. Maybe we send each other some blind samples, man. I come on your show, you come on mine. Let's do something, man. It'll be fun. Yeah, NBC is putting out some hitter single barrels. Can't get enough of their stuff. Yeah, exactly, Rare Breed, but you have to pay for it. To get into most of the stuff from NBC, you're looking at least $120, $160 now, which can get pricey. Some of their high-end ryes, you're looking at $200 plus. But, I mean, costs are going up everywhere. So, oh, Bruzel, we can get together in person. Yeah, Bruzel, I know you're the traveling man, for sure. Boss Howard Penny Bank, I can get that for you, says Adam Hinson. Yeah, you could keep that. Although I do like the pig that pours out of its butt. All right, let's try this new riff single barrel here, guys. Here we go. Looking at this camera now. I love this hat. I love this setup. All right. All right, so the stats on this one, guys. I just kind of pulled this up here. Yes. Yeah. Oh my gosh. No, I don't want to fill your ads up. Okay, 113.8 proof, and the age is 7 years. Slowly matured in a multiplicity of cask types, this unprecedented whiskey welds old world spirit inspiration to Kentucky sour mash technique. Distilled in our column, beer still, and doubler, it weaves a wealth of malty flavor. Oh, I don't want to read the flavors yet. All right, here we go. Aaron C, I have so much shit now, and it's also about being selective. So basically, Garrison, bro, buy everything in the shelf. I don't really buy anymore because I like 9 KC 15-year picks. Oh, dude, unopened. You're a lucky man right there. I love it. Alan Pulaski. Dos Equis, right? All right. First thing immediately that jumps out is something I do find in American single malt pretty often, and that is chocolate. A nice little chocolate maltiness, kind of like a milk, not a milk dud, a Whopper. That's the candy, a Whopper. Yeah, Tumbling Dice. Yeah, Tumbling Dice is actually a good call out too. Backbone has some great, MGP. But that we're going to get into another brand tonight, Dark Arts here. To be transparent, they sent me these samples. We'll get into this brand, who it's started up by, what they're making right now, what they're creating with different source whiskeys. They are not a distiller; they are an NDP. All right, guys. Cheers, man. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight. Here we go. We got a lot of stuff to cover, so I got to shut up. Wow. This is heavy chocolate. Super heavy chocolate. Almost borders on coffee bean a little bit. It's right on the borderline. I think that first super chat of the night. Jason C for the win. Love this channel. What's up, JJ? Nice to see you, man. Let's see. Going to Miss Part. Let's see. I've got one of those Tumbling Dice in Florida. Hey, what's up, Travis? Travis is here. Fancy Franchi is Fancy Franchi and the franchise here tonight. That'd be amazing. I like the Jason C sexy cam. So price for this one is about $80. This is non-chill filtered. Thank you so much, JJ. Cheers. Appreciate that. I dig this. And I do feel like American single malts go really one of two ways. And I'm talking about if you're not using a sherry finish, if you're not using a port finish, anything like that. I feel like you're getting a lot of the either chocolate, or you get kind of like that young maltiness, kind of where it's almost a little bit sour, a little bit bitter. And we've talked about this with the Bullet one. I was getting that weird aftertaste. I think some of them go very heavy apple, speaking of apple. But I feel like when you're trying to make a traditional single malt scotch, or a version of like an American version of a single malt scotch from Scotland, I feel like there's only been really a few, distillers that I've had that are really able to do that. All the Kentucky distillers that are like releasing stuff that are trying to be like that have just been too young and just not ready yet. On the other hand, you have distillers like New Riff who are using different malted characteristics, different casks maturations to give it a little bit more depth and flavor at a younger age. I think 7 years is a great age for a American single malt, because when you kind of do the math and you compare it against the climate in Scotland, this one can really hold its own and go against, some of those 12-year, 13-year, 14-year casks. Now, obviously, it's distilled differently. It's matured differently. It's a different climate. But when you do get into those different flavors, I feel like the chocolatey single malts are definitely more palatable than some of the other ones that are younger, with not so much variance in either cask maturation or or barley. So I don't know. It's just a still interesting category to see where it goes. We're actually going to try another one here, which I'll do a compare. And this is a bottle I got recently. I got to thank one of my patrons for finding me these. This is the Redwood Empire Foggy Burl, and this is an American single malt as well. Redwood Empire always killing it with the packaging design. So this is 100% malted barley. Comes in at 99 proof. So this is, let's see here. Yeah, I think that's really all it's a 27 barrel lot size. So not a huge amount of barrels in this release. Of course, I got Bruzel says I always get Band-Aids on single malts. Says, yeah, Bruzel, man, but you drinking stuff just from Isla, or are you trying stuff from other areas like Speyside, Highland, Coastal? Because, man, you get into some of those coastal ones, it is not Band-Aid. It's like straight up sea salt. American single malts are getting better, but they still seem young or grainy to me. Whiskey Bank, yeah, I think I agree with you, man. I think that's where we are in the space of American single malts. Not for all of them. There are still some really good ones, like Old Line, which I mentioned out of Maryland. I think everybody on the West Coast is just freaking killing it with American single malts. Westward, Westland. We'll see how Redwood Empire is. And then obviously McCarthy's out of Oregon is probably one of the most impressive that I've had. So let's see how these differentiate here a little bit. Oh yeah, Stranahan's. Stranahan's out of Colorado, doing a great job. No, not Pete. I have a ton of Scotch Irish whiskey single malt. I hate them all to varying degrees. Just can't get on board. No, I mean, listen, it happens. Listen, my buddy Scott, who I do the Mash and Journey Whiskey Club with, I love Scotch, and he can't drink it at all. Like, he even just smells it and he runs the other way. So, I mean, it's not I don't know if it's like your palate just gets so locked into bourbon, and I don't know. I tried, he does like some American single malts though. I don't know. ASW out of Atlanta doing some sick American single malts too. All right, so the Redwood Empire is coming off like more of a traditional American single malt out of California, for sure. Balcones makes great single malts, but it's their bourbon I'm after. They don't produce enough. Yeah, Aaron, I think the word is that they're not going to make bourbon anymore. So if you want it, you better go and find it immediately, because I don't think they're making it anymore. So yeah, let's see. So this is okay. 27 barrels, 99 proof. So this smells like your typical American single malt, like a good one in a good way. A lot of honey, a lot of vanilla, caramel. It is malty. There is like a malted milk ball thing going on, like a malted candy, for sure. There is a touch of that chocolate there. Hated Scotch. I have a friend that gets smoke off any malt. Not sure if he's getting mustiness or sulfur from. Yeah, so sherry finishes or port finishes can be tricky if you're sensitive to like a sulfur-esque type note, where it could kind of come off a little bit like eggs or something like that. That could be tough to get over if you're sensitive to it. That's why just try like a straight up. I always gear people towards like just a straight up ex-bourbon cask for a single malt to try to get into it. Just because if you're used to bourbon, you get a lot of those typical flavors. But yeah, you get into those high-aged sherry bombs, those can get a little crazy. What's going on, everybody? 378 people in the chat or watching right now, guys. If you're hanging out, just please hit the subscribe button. I'm sorry, that's like button. If you're not subscribed, you can hit that too. But hit the like button, guys. It definitely helps the channel out. Appreciate it. Oh, Cedar Ridge. Yeah, how can I forget Cedar Ridge out of Iowa? Probably, yeah. I said Old Line, and yeah, Cedar Ridge is probably making my favorite American single malt now that I think about it. And that is the quintessential. Chocolate, honey, apple. More vanilla. I have the Glenfiddich 12-year cherry finish and it tastes like tequila to me. I don't get it. The 14-year all ex-bourbon Glenfiddich is a nice starter single malt for folks. WD O'Connell, very impressive Irish. Changed my perspective on Irish. Just got some store picks and tried their special stuff, including a 12-year. Thanks so much, Lance. Appreciate that. That's a good call out if anyone's trying to get into Irish whiskey. What's up, Richie Z? Richie Z, you legend. I actually like the nose on the New Riff better. The New Riff is actually coming in with some really interesting, almost like some dark fruit notes now in the New Riff. This one is just a little bit more straightforward. You know, the one thing it says a multiplicity of cask types. And I kind of wish I knew what those were, because I feel like I'm getting American whiskey, I'm getting sherry or a port. I'm getting something very rich and fruity here to go along with that chocolate. This New Riff single malt actually has a good amount of layers to it, and I'm here for it. I'm digging the New Riff one. Gotta say. The New Riff one is reminding me a little bit more of something more on the Scottish side, which I'm digging. Is Cedar Ridge like an Isla, says Roscoe P. Coltrane? No. Cedar Ridge is not peated. I don't know if they're working on any peated stuff. McCarthy's out of California, out of Oregon, I should say, is peated. That one's heavily peated. They're actually using peated malt from Scotland in order to create that American single malt. But yeah, it is not peated. The Cedar Ridge one is just straight up. You know, it's 100% malt, and they're using some of them is just straight, but the ones that they're using with the old sherry cask they're using or the port is friggin' delicious. Have they done a port? I think I have one that's a sherry. Is it sitting right here, or is it somewhere else? I don't know. In the battle of these two, I gotta say, man, the New Riff's killing it. But this one too. These are probably two of the finer American single malts that I've had as of late. Did not like the Bullet one. I hated the Claremont Steep from Beam. These are really good, actually, both of them. I think I'm leaning towards the New Riff a little bit more because it's darker. I really like those darker, richer flavors. So, and again, I do wish I knew what the vatting was for this. It just says a multitude of cask types. It doesn't tell you what. And I went online. That doesn't tell me anything either. Maybe I'll take a deeper dive in some research and see what they use. I would be really surprised there's no sherry in here or something like that. So there's just something with a deep, rich fruit note. And I feel like I'm picking that up. All right. 404 in the chat. What is going on, everybody? Aaron 10 is a solid one. New Riff looks a lot darker than that. Yeah, that's the thing, too. When you hold up, let me switch cameras here. Yeah, check out the color difference, guys. There it is. So this is the New Riff, and then this is the Redwood Empire. I think there's some definite sherry action going on in the New Riff right here. Look at that up close and personal swirl job just for ADHD whiskey. Miss you, buddy. Hope you're feeling all right. Yeah, love that one. All right. Yeah, I think for an Irish whiskey, it's hard not to gear people towards the Redbreast 12 cask strength, but I think that's what everybody kind of goes towards. But I think there are so many people making such amazing Irish whiskey. When over the last weekend, when I was, when me and Fred Minnick were talking about the Liberator, we were talking about the Whistler making some incredible stuff. Waterford, what they're doing, albeit Waterford is a younger whiskey, but they are a true grain of glass pharmacy, and they really lean into it, almost like Brook Lottie does on the Scotch side. So there's a lot of just amazing things happening Irish whiskey. And Stacy in chat, she will definitely tell you. Can't go wrong with the New Riff no matter what juice it is. When you hold up the Glens, you should do a puppet show. Jason, what? JT, what are you drinking tonight? Oh, man. Oh, Powers John's Lane. William Y. That's a hell of a good call out. Yep. I managed to grab a 23C. What are your thoughts, Daniel Fag? We're gonna get into that. But first, I'm going to get into some news here, but I'm going to crack open the other Redwood Empire I have, and this is a bourbon. This is their high rye bourbon, let's go to the label cam. There it is. Redwood Empire Devil's Tower. So this one is a 25 barrel lot. This is a small lot series, you know, just basically continuing their experimentation. They're using it with specific focus on high rye in this one. It's 99 proof as well. Mash bill is 2% malt, 45% rye, 51% corn, and 2% wheat. So it is, you know, without question, it's a 4 grain. So let's get into it here. Jason, how's your diet and training going? Looking slim, guy. Yeah, I think I'm doing well with it. I think I'm finally starting to like hit a point where I'm noticing differences. I always feel like slower is better over time rather than, you know, just trying to do something like a fad. But yeah, I feel like it's working. Clothes are fitting a little looser, I think, a little bit. Yeah, for sure. So just gotta keep it going. I'm glad that it's gonna get warmer. I want to get outside, run, get active, do all that fun stuff. So see how it goes. I'm not at my goal yet, but I'm planning on getting there. This is pretty light. James M. Bowman says, turns out that Weller Foolproof is the best remedy for flu. Who knew? Oh, man. The New Riff hype train is gaining so much speed. I have a club pick and went to the distillery for pours. It's just okay to me. Maybe I need to revisit it. Buffalo bourbon enthusiast, I'm with you. I am not a huge fan of New Riff's actual bourbon, especially their single barrels. People think I'm crazy, but I think there's a very youthful, bitter note to a lot of them. I'm not saying every single one is. I have had some really good single barrels, but I have tried some picks that are just straight up, I can't even drink them. It's like an off note that I get. It's like sour and bitter, and I'm very. You talk about selective when it comes to New Riff. I'm extremely selective. So yeah. Weller Foolproof. When's your fight with Fred? Yeah, Fred and I are gonna put up. Yeah, I think we're gonna set that up for charity or something like that, and that'll be fun. My running is like slow walking. I think I'm going fast, but I'm not. How does the New Riff compare to the JD Special Releases single malt? That's a good question. It's definitely not as dark and rich as the Jack Daniels one. Well, I mean, the Oloroso single malt from Jack Daniels, I think. Remember, it's a different type of finish. I think there's a mix here. The Oloroso is way more prevalent in the Jack Daniels. You get a lot more fruit forward notes, a lot more sherry. But when you talk about when you're talking about like a, you know, just a direct comparison of flavors, I feel like the New Riff is not as fruit forward. It's a little bit more on the chocolate side, whereas the Jack Daniels is heavy fruit. So Lucas Oppenir, hey, has your head been a hot minute? How you liking that Kirk Cousins pickup? Oh, I knew when someone was going to ask me that. We'll get into that a little bit. Nice to see you, Lucas. Travis Robeson, 100% agree with Jason, but the batch Silver Grove is extremely good. Oh, okay. The Jack Mall is so far ahead of these, it's not even close. Yeah, I would actually say that too. I think again, Brown Foreman owns Glen Dronick, a couple of other single malt producers in Scotland. So I think Jack Daniels had a really nice advantage to learn from them. And, you know, that's basically what Chris Fletcher, master distiller at Jack Daniels, pretty much said. He said that he had to learn from these people. He had to learn how to distill and make single malt, and they learned that over time. And I think they absolutely killed it. I would put the Jack Daniels single malt up there with some of the other best ones that I've had across the country. So including Quintessential out of Cedar Ridge, McCarthy's out of Oregon, some of the ones we talked about out west. Yeah, for sure. Who knew? Friggin' Tennessee whiskey making American single malt and killing it for sure. What's up, Asher Nellikar? What's up, my dude? Loving your content. Thanks so much, man. Halfway done with my Devil's Tower. Really good. I'm loving the hey, the Bourbonist is here, sipping on some James E. Pepper barrel proof tonight. Bourbonist, that's probably one of my favorite bottles so far this year. I love that damn bottle. It's so impressive for the money. Oh man, this smells fantastic. I gotta say that. Very citrus, apple, pear. It's juicy. It's like coming off almost like juicy to me. Again, do we have an age statement on this one? No, just 99. Yeah, this has a really nice juiciness to it. Toasted and char 3 casks. So we got a toasted and barrel level 3 char. Again, 99 proof. This is just batch number 1, 4 grain. I get a lot of the citrus, apple, juicy pear on this as well. All right, let's give it a try. Actually, let me show you guys the color here. You guys can check out the color cam. A little bit light. It's not too dark, but I do feel like it's got a lot of it's coming up on the nose darker than the color would indicate, if that makes sense. So, all right. Can you really drink barrel proof or just barely nip it? I have a tendency to get slammed off of it. LOL, Smoke Steve. Dude, yeah, if you have seen my Logitech barrel proof videos, you know I can usually do a lot of barrel proof, but I can't usually finish it all in one night. It's just too much. You know, I'm older now. I get the heartburn. I got to be careful with that shit. Truth be told, what is your number 1 favorite Irish whiskey? Oh, man. Probably easily the Dare Gaelic series from Middleton. The Middleton Dare Gaelic series, every single one I've had have been some of the best Irish whiskeys I've ever had in my life. The flavor profiles, the age of it, they're expensive, but damn. I love them so much. The Redbreast 27 batch 1 up there, I would put up there. But the batch 1, I feel like, was the best one, hands down. Then the other batches that came after weren't as good. But man, Redbreast 27 batch 1 and then the Dare Gaelic series from Middleton, I would put up there hands down. They're just hard to find. Sometimes Jason falls off a chair with his barrel proof lineup, says Kyle Taylor. That does happen. Yeah, so like I said, citrusy, pear, apple, maybe like a slight, I don't know, I'm getting like a little bit of a, no, I was going to say melon. It's not melon. Scratch that. You know, you do get your caramels, vanillas, you get your nice oak. All right, let's give it a try, guys. Cheers. Oh, man. The palate is straight up like mandarin oranges. Mandarin orange, nectarine. That thing's crazy. Blood orange. I mean, you name the orange, that's what I'm picking up on here. It's almost like an orange sherbet type thing. It's like this vanilla orange creaminess to it. A lot of spice too. I think the spice saves it. If this was just all that orange up front for me, I don't think it would be as pleasing to me on the palate. Have you tried the Dare Gaelic Bluebell Forest? I have a bottle I haven't opened yet. No, M. Chacos, I have not seen that one yet. I do not have. The last one I got was the Knockraft Forest. I got a couple of those because I love them so much. So yeah, those are my last selections. Yeah, guys, if you can, hit that like button while you're here hanging out. 416 watching. Appreciate the support, guys. On the way, I just hit 88,000 subscribers literally yesterday. So numbers are climbing. They're going up. Again, trying to hit that 100,000 mark. I have a lot of stuff planned, man. It's just that, God, like just work and traveling and all that stuff. Oh, yeah, traveling. Let me get into a little bit of what I did on Monday and Sunday. So Sunday, Master Journey Whiskey Club, we flew into Kansas City, which had so much Kansas City Chief shit around at the airport. It was like, oh, my God. But, you know, obviously with the team doing as good as it is. So we made the pilgrimage out to Ben Holiday. And Ben Holiday has a really crazy history. I mean, going all the way back to the early 1800s. And you guys know I get really nerdy about that shit. So I loved it. Love kind of talking about it. Love going through each and every part of it. Let's see. Tell us about your 100K celebration plans. I just know that when it does happen, I'm going to have a lot of different channels on, and just basically, because really it's not just about me, it's really about the collective group of people and the connections I've made that have made this, so amazing. And obviously, have some patrons on, some viewers that I've known and connected with over the years. I don't know. It's just going to be kind of a fun celebration with everyone. It's not just going to be, about me, but I do want it to be about the collective, because I do think tide rises all ships. Rising tide rises all ships, and I think that's what happened with Whiskey Tube. So yeah, love it. Yeah, so Ben Holiday, let me show you a couple photos here, guys, because I thought it was pretty impressive here. So, so this is, let's see here. Oh, I see. Okay, so I have to remove some photos here before I show you. So this was kind of the gift shop here. So I took that picture in the main gift shop that you go into. Really cool setup. These were some of the barrels in the rick house that we got to see. This was their whiskey safe. All the white dog comes right into here, right out of the doubler, right into this beautiful box. We did, 2 picks. We got to select, 2 different bourbons, a rickhouse proof rye bourbon and a rickhouse proof wheated soft red wheat bourbon. So you see the 5 samples in front of us, and then right behind there, you'll see another stave with 5 more glasses with 5 more whiskeys. So we did the regular rye bourbon first, then we did the soft red wheat. And ultimately what we picked is the original is a 7-year, 125.8 proof bourbon whiskey. And then the soft red wheat was a 6-year, 8-month soft red wheat wheated bourbon. And we just could not have been more impressed with their stuff. The thing that amazed me about Ben Holiday is, especially for a kind of I'm not going to say a new brand. They've been around for a little while, but obviously they're putting out 6-year stuff. But I mean, their stuff was so incredible when it comes to the flavor profiles, the spectrum of flavors you got from the top of the rick house to the middle to the bottom. You don't expect that much differentiation, especially when whiskeys are 6-7 years old, but there was a ton of it. It was a tough go to pick 2 barrels, but we had to do 2 different blind tastings for the bourbon and the wheated bourbon, just because there was 2 in each flight that we all really liked. Let me show you a couple of examples of the grounds, because I do think that it's worth showing. It's worth noting. Let's see here. I think this is a oh yeah, I could just upload it like that. And let me do oh yeah, this photo. I'll show you these 2 photos from the grounds, and that'll be, look at this. This was when we first got there, kind of walking up a path, and you see this old rick house all the way in the back. It's covered in complete tin because they want to get as much heat and reflect some of that heat at the same time. And I thought it was just and that rick house was built just after the early 1900s. So not quite as old as some of the old Wild Turkey rick houses, but I mean, these rick houses have been there for a long time. Like anything else, Prohibition happened. People tried to restart it up, and it didn't really go over well. And then a couple of investors put $10 million into this whole property and kind of revitalize it. This place was pretty cool. This is their ancient cave that they have. It's literally a cave, and this cave used to be where the Holidays would hang their meat. It was basically a cold room, so it was kind of like their fridge. It stayed really cold in there, and they would hang their meat to eat in there. And you could actually, they still have some of the original beams in there with some of the hooks. You see the holes for the hooks that held, some of the aging beef in there that they refrigerated in that cave. Now they're using it to roll some whiskey barrels in there and do some double oaking projects. They did release some cave-aged whiskeys, and we got to try a couple new ones that are probably down the pipeline that are coming out soon. Different toast levels, different finishes. What they're doing at Ben Holiday is pretty incredible. We said that we would probably put that top 5 experiences we've had doing all these picks. And that's a bold statement, figuring that we've picked about 120 something barrels over the course of the last several years. So they really impressed us with just everything that they brought to us. So cheers to Ben Holiday. Thank you guys for doing that for us. It was incredible. Yeah, I definitely will say, if you guys ever have the chance to go to Kansas City for any reason, Ben Holiday is not that far from the airport, so you can definitely make a quick trip out of it. So that rick house was used by Jesse James. Love the history. Which distillery that way uses old lager houses for some aging? Which distillery that way uses old lager houses for some aging? I'm not sure, Alan. Man, this is so citrusy. The Devil's Tower. That's nice. That may even give me more citrus than sometimes I get out of MGP or even Wild Turkey. Sometimes Wild Turkey gives me a lot of orange, and I'm definitely getting it from here. Yeah, the spring that they use, they have a huge room with, you could see down into the spring that fills up. That's where they use their water. It's just, it was just kind of the thing. Like Ben Holiday wanted to use it for to make whiskey. I mean, he kind of thought of it back in the day. Again, there's a huge limestone shelf that runs right through there. A lot of people think that the limestone shelf ends in Kentucky. It does not. It keeps going. It goes into Indiana, goes into Missouri, obviously, where people are making some great bourbon elsewhere. So I think Kentucky purists still think that, bourbon can only come from Kentucky. And let's be honest, 90 to 95% of the world's bourbon does come from Kentucky. But there's a lot of great distillers across the country making some incredible stuff. Bruzel did an in-depth barrel pick at Holly. All said it was one of his top 5. Yeah, they must be doing something right. Yeah, I agree, CJ. If Bruzel did that too, I think that, yeah, I agree. It was special. It was a special experience, and the fact that we got to pick 2 barrels at the occasion was just sick. It was so good. Let's see here. Did you try the new? Yes, we did. We tried the new Ancient Cave collection. Steven got to try about 4 or 5 different variances that they're working on. We got to try the ones they released and some of the other ones that they're working on. So a lot of delicious stuff to come from that collection if you guys are able to get your hands on it. I know it's distillery only, which makes it tough, but I feel like it's a way to get people to come to the distillery. You got to have those distillery exclusives, so you want people to come and visit. And Ben Holiday, just the grounds alone is incredible to see. So, yeah, my county, Indiana, is the limestone capital of the world. Yeah, exactly, Girth. There you go. I got to get to Ben Holiday, about 2 hours away. Love their stuff. Shammy, dude, you got to get down there immediately. Immediately. All right, guys, let's get into some news stories before we dive into the dark arts and the All Points West and the Stagg. Always love to give you guys some fun news updates. Let's start here with Buzzard's Roost. Buzzard's Roost brand welcomes loyal fans to the flock with their own loyalty program launch. Now, we've seen this with Jack Daniels and Buffalo Trace. A lot of different distillers do this and different brands. So they just announced on Monday a customer loyalty program whose members will be called the Ambassadors. Interested parties can sign up online. Those who join the Buzzard's Roost loyalty program will receive a branded lapel pin, as you see on the screen, and a loyalty card offering members a complimentary experience at Buzzard's Roost Whiskey Row after buying 6 bottles of Buzzard's Roost whiskey. It offers also early access to purchase new whiskey expressions and invitations to tastings with Jason Browner and master distiller Ethan Spalding. Ambassadors will also be able to take part in barrel picks for the brand series of a single barrel whiskey. Their downtown Louisville space opened in February 23, 6,000 square foot space. And yeah, there you go. So cool little story there from, I do love what Buzzard's Roost is doing. I've talked about them pretty extensively on the channel, and happy to see what they're doing. All right, let's go to the next. Let's see, next story here. I think the next story here was kind of a cool one. Oh yeah, I did want to talk about this one. And this is a brand you guys might not have ever heard of, but let's talk about it here. It is this brand right here, Flying Ace, American made. This is the this bourbon brand is supporting families of U.S. military members and first responders. Here's how they're doing it. Last Monday, Flying Ace Straight Bourbon announced plans to support family members of fallen or disabled American military or first responders. The brand announced a partnership with the nonprofit Folds of Honor, intending to offer scholarships to children of military members who made the ultimate sacrifice. According to the news release, Folds of Honor has awarded over 52,000 scholarships since its inception in 2007. Flying Ace said it would spread the word of the scholarship program at spirits retailers through social media platforms and feature special packaging indicating the partnership. Through a QR code, customers can learn more about the initiative with Folds of Honor. The brand initially signed on to be the Liberty sponsor at their inaugural gala in Detroit, which took place last Saturday. So cheers to them. I mean, Flying Ace may not be, I never heard of Flying Ace until I read that story, but I thought it was worth mentioning just because of the dedication they are to giving to those, those scholarships to kids who have lost parents, gave the ultimate sacrifice serving our country. So cheers to them, and would love to hear more about them and even try that whiskey at some point. So absolutely love it. Let's talk about, let's see what's next here. Let's get into, speaking of Irish whiskey, let's talk a little bit about this new story. Did this not load? Where did it go? Of course it didn't load. Let me close that. This will take me 2 seconds. Let me get this photo in here because it's kind of pretty, to be honest. You guys kind of got to see this photo. Here we go. So this is a new Gold Spot coming out from the Spot whiskey lineup. So here it is. Let's talk about this a little bit. Iconic whiskey and wine families unite as Irish Distillers releases oldest Gold Spot whiskey yet, Gold Spot 13. So this was announced on Monday, a 13-year age statement finished for 16 months in Valpolicella wine casks. Valpolicella wine casks. I'm whipping out the old Italian accent for that one. The latest expression from Irish Distillers pays an interesting tribute to two families with lengthy histories in whiskey and wine. This will be a suggested retail price of $163.89. That's kind of a crazy price. Gold Spot, the Generation Edition, is available in limited quantities across the US, UK, France, travel retail, Ireland, and brand homes. Those interested in purchasing can pick it up at Middleton, blah, blah, blah. This isn't just a whiskey. It's a celebration of our shared commitment to tradition and innovation. Irish Distillers Catherine Condon said in a news release, the incorporation of Italian wine casks along our own pot still whiskey produces a complex and vibrant character. 13-year-old that was aged in traditional mixture of ex-bourbon, ex-sherry, coupled with the 16-month finishing in the Valpolicella casks, according to the brand. So there you go, guys. What do you think? You guys out? You guys out for that one? You guys going to be, trying to get your hands on that one? Be pretty, not too bad. Let's see here. Got the next one here. It is Yellowstone. Yellowstone, kind of making some waves here with their new rum finish. There it is. Bourbon finished in rum casks. The 4-year-old bourbon is bottled at 100 proof and will release nationwide in March with suggested retail price of $50. Made from Yellowstone standard bourbon mash bill, new expression was finished for 9 weeks in casks that previously held rum distilled from molasses made from Cuban sugarcane. So some of the flavors are saying creme brulee, toasted marshmallow, some of the other stuff, I guess, that you get with rum. So there you go. I do want to share this photo with you guys. It looks like Woodford Reserve has released their Kentucky Derby bottle for 2024. So if you guys are a collector of these, there it is. The Woodford Reserve Derby Collection bottle is set to release. Actually, it might be out already, but as you can see, the roses in the background, the multicolor, the red horse there, kind of cool. Kind of goes with the red wrapping on top of the logo, on top of the cork, I should say. And it is 150 years of the Kentucky this year, so a big milestone. And I know people that collect every single bottle of those and have the entire lineup. That I'm trying to remember when they even started doing that. Let me see if there's a indication here in the news, in the press release. Let's see here. Embodies the spirit of race day. Does it say when it started? $55 for the bourbon, guys. Features artwork from Kentucky artist Wiley Caudle. Yeah, okay. Make the official art. Okay. Oh, 1999. The bourbon brand first released its annual Kentucky Derby offering in 1999, and the bottles have been collector's items ever since. So there you go, guys. 1999 is when Woodford Reserve first started doing this for everyone. Pretty cool. I dig it. Let's see. I do want to get into this one too. Man, so much news, guys. Sorry. Old Forester is back with the new Angel Share. 2024 High Angel Share, the brand's 117 series, consists of 3 annual releases throughout the year. This is a reference to the amount of whiskey that is lost to evaporation while spirit matures in its barrel. 110 proof, suggested retail price of $60 for a 375 milliliter bottle. Assistant Master Distiller at Old Forester, Caleb Trigo, said in a news release, the smell is commonly called Angel Share, the angels taking their portion of the bourbon. This is available at Old Forester Distillery and the brand's online store. You could purchase a 2-bottle set for $120, but I think they've already sold out on the website. But if you guys think back, the Angel Share, the High Angel Share was the first release that ever came out for the 117 series that had Jackie Zykan's signature on it. I think this is their second release of that, and we'll see what else they come out with. Actually, when we look at some of the labels I found on the TTB, there is another one coming out that probably the next one that we'll talk about here in a little bit. Given the new pricing, Gold Spot 13 should be about $700. Is gold seriously only $160? Sign me up. Well, I mean, that's... So when I read that, it was all about the conversion as far as like euros to American. Now, what the price is here, I don't know. I've seen those Gold Spots for a very high price here in the United States. So I wouldn't drink either Rio or light whiskey. Blah, says Eric Farr. The Yellowstone is not that bad of a price, which should have been aged longer in rum barrels. Yeah, the whiskey itself is only 4 years old, and then it's been in the rum for 9 weeks. I'm not really sure how depth of flavor you're going to get from that. It'll be interesting, kind of see how that goes. 4 years, 200 milliliters. You like that? Seems like a nice guy, but he's all about the payday. Good luck, Atlanta. Oh, Forlorn Hope. Oh, he's talking about the, yeah, all right. You want to talk about, Atlanta's new quarterback here a little bit. That's fine. I mean, Kirk Cousins, for what it's worth, listen, did they overpay for Kirk? Absolutely. Absolutely, they overpaid for him. Did they have any other choice? I don't think so. I think Atlanta wanted to get a justified QB with a track record that could come and help their offense now. Atlanta has a ton of talent. They weren't going to draft a rookie to start because their talent is ready to go now rather than wait for a QB to develop. They made the mistake with Desmond Ridder. And if you were going to try to if you're going to try to get Kirk Cousins out of Minnesota, you were going to have to pay a pretty penny. He was very fully ingrained in that community. They gave him everything. And now you're asking him to uproot his family and move to Atlanta, which his wife is from Atlanta. I think she grew up in Alpharetta, Georgia, I think from what I read. And Atlanta has a great offensive line. They have young offensive weapons. I think they got to get a pass rusher. They got to get a couple of spots missing on their defense. They just signed another receiver from Chicago today, Mooney, another little speedster. So we'll see how it goes. Can he stay healthy? Hopefully. That's really the big question. He's coming off an Achilles injury. But hell yeah, did they overpay for him? Hell yeah, they did. But I don't really think they had another choice. I think Justin Fields could have been a great addition. But you have to remember, Kirk Cousins was running the offense that the new offensive coordinator and the coaches ran from Atlanta. The new coaches, Raheem Morris, the new offensive coordinator. It wasn't only about that, but it was also about the familiarity that he had with that offense. So they feel like he could come right in, help the offensive players, go. The biggest question is, can he last the season? Is he gonna, hopefully that Achilles holds up. Now, if he goes out, plays 3 games, or we have another Aaron Rodgers situation where 4 snaps in the first game, he's gone. Yeah, it's gonna suck. But I feel like Atlanta was that was really their only option. So there you go. There you go. Packers did amazing moves. Totally agree. Sports, cheers all. Do they have an offensive line? If not, Cousins is toast. Yeah, they have an above average offensive line. They do have a good offensive line. So we'll see. Look, it's Chiefs all the way. Atlanta should have saved their money. I mean, yeah, Moo Mizzou. I mean, Chiefs are still the favorites. I think Atlanta could maybe get a playoff spot if Cousins stays healthy. They have the roster for it. But you never know what's going to happen throughout the year. I mean, but I don't see anyone taking out Mahomes yet right now. Because look at what Mahomes does with the good quarterbacks that make the playoffs. They're pretty mobile. They're able to do shit to get out of trouble. They're mobile. They can make plays happen on the run when they can't make the throw. Defenses tighten up, especially in the playoffs. Kirk Cousins is not a mobile quarterback. He's always, he has to rely on his arm. So that could be problematic for sure. But you talk about, God, quarterback for the Bills, quarterback for the Ravens, quarterback for Mahomes, for the Chiefs. Those three guys, they could run. And they're in the playoffs seemingly every year. So, Brock Purdy ran a little bit for San Francisco, but, we'll see what happens. That Calvin Ridley contract, though. Oh, yeah, Calvin Ridley got paid. Atlanta can win the South. They have talent. Yeah, they have talent. Oh, is Kirk Cousins going to run for vice president too? Yeah, I don't think anyone wants him running for president. All right, guys, let's go into, let's see, any other stories here? Oh, yeah, real quick here. Guys, Michter's Barrel Proof Rye is coming back for 2024. I'm excited about this one. Price for this one looks like it's going to be about, I think, 100 and, let me see here. They announced this, actually, I think last week. But couldn't talk about it quite yet because, I had Mr. Fred Minnick on. Barrel Strength Rye is back. This one will be 100 so they'll range. The average proof is about 110.2. So that gives you some indication. Price for this year, $110. Still think it's one of the best barrel proof ryes ever on the market. I don't care what anybody says. Michter's Barrel Proof Rye is stellar. The only problem is it's still pretty damn hard to find, unfortunately. So should see a review coming soon. Should be getting my hands on one pretty soon, so I'm excited about that. All right, what's to see at the TTB? What are the labels that are going on, guys? Here we go. Angel's Envy, Triple Oak. And I want to get your guys' opinions on some of these because I think some of these are pretty interesting here. Angel's Envy is doing a Triple Oak, and here it is. Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey finished in a blend of Hungarian Chinkapin, and French oak barrel. Isn't there a Q in the word Chinquapin? Or am I imagining that? Is there a isn't Chinkapin? If I say Chinkapin one more time, I'm going to lose it. I just did. Sorry. I feel like there's a Q in that word. Am I imagining that? Hungarian, that word, and French oak barrels. That is the Triple Oak. What do you guys think about that one? Let me get to the comments here. Quad Oak only for me, says JG. AE says yuck, overpriced, not good. Okay. Space Ghost sounds awful. Fancy Franchi says I'm gonna need this. Oh, Maureen is all in. Fancy Franchi's ready. Sorry, AE is always a pass for me. It will probably be a $300+ bottle. It's going to be interesting. Yeah, that's spelled kind of effed up. Copper Wolf. No Q, right? Wait, are you saying the Q is missing or it says there's no Q in it? Oh, Chinku. Maybe it's a different type. Maybe it's a different type of oak, says, Mike. I don't know, dude. All I know is this. I'm out on Angel's Envy special releases. I'm not buying them again. So, because that bottle's probably going to be $250 to $300. I'm out. I'm not buying them again. If somebody wants me to review it, send me a sample. But I'm not buying those Angel's Envy bottles anymore. I can't. It is spelled the way Mr. Google says it's supposed to be. Okay. Don't understand why AE is so opposed to proof on their limited bottlings. Yeah, Aaron, I think because Angel's Envy, even their cast strength stuff for Angel's Envy is on the lower end. I think that's their market, though. I think Angel's Envy has really leaned into, I'm not going to say the beginner bourbon drinker, but I think it's the bourbon drinker that's less inclined to try higher proof stuff. So, yeah. Does triple equal double-double? Yeah, this is the big question. Does triple equal double-double? It kind of does. It's a 3-time thing. So yeah, I think, but Woodford Reserve has cornered the market on double double. So there you go. All right, check this one out, guys. JT friggin' Mellick out of Louisiana. They have a high proof rice whiskey, 118 proof. This is a small batch bottling. That sounds fantastic. If you guys have not heard of JT Mellick yet, I talked about it a lot towards the end of last year. This is a 100% Louisiana rice whiskey, and you would never know it. They usually come in a little bit lower proof, so 118 proof is actually pretty high from what we've seen from JT Mellick. Their stuff is just fantastic. I did a barrel pick at the end of last year. I wasn't able to go there, but we had a small group of patrons that went. They said the experience was fantastic. It's in the middle of nowhere, Louisiana, near a crawfish, like a rice paddy and crawfish farm, because crawfish, they go towards the rice and that's what they eat and they love it. And they use some of that rice and make whiskey out of it. It's buttery, it's viscous, it's fantastic. You would never know it's rice whiskey. You could ask Mr. Kelsey Dime in the chat, who was fooling a lot of people with his damn rice whiskey blinds last year. So Copper Wolf is drinking the JT pick now. Oh, nice. Your pick of Mellick was 119. Yes, Darrell, but that was a single barrel. I'm talking about their regular releases being that high a proof, because it is small batch to be a little bit higher. So that's the difference. Yeah, I mean, their stuff is really, really good. So Buzzard's Roost, speaking of the Buzzarders, looks like they're coming out with a bottled and bond straight bourbon whiskey. 100 proof there. So yeah, looks like Buzzard Roost leaning into the bottle and bond labeling. 2 whiskeys coming out of Ohio here, and I'm excited about this. Coming out of Middle West, they're releasing some new double cask collections. The Napoleon, which is a Vino de Naranja cask finish whiskey, which is a orange liqueur. Looks like it's 5 years, double oak matured, and in Vino de Naranja barrels. It's cask strength. This is their red winter wheat and dark pumpernickel rye whiskeys aged in this cask. So it's it sounds like it's a 4-grain Bourye blend, I'm guessing. I mean, that sounds amazing. Can't wait to try that. Then we have the Calvados cask whiskey finish. This is also the soft red winter wheat and dark pumpernickel rye whiskey aged in Calvados cask, which is an apple brandy. So 2 more fun fit. I've never really been a Calvados guy. I don't know about you, but I am all over the Vino de Naranja cask. I kind of have to talk in all these accents tonight. Old Forester Warehouse I. That is going to be the next 117 series. We have seen Warehouse H. I think we've seen, did they release a K? They might have released a K. But this is Warehouse I. This is another focus on this specific warehouse. This one says 95 proof. I'm not sure if that's going to be the actual proof, but if you're interested in the 117 series, that looks like is what's coming up. We also have the Four Roses barrel strength limited release 2024. Looks like these pictures kind of made it to the Whiskeyverse 2024 limited edition. Looks like creamy vanilla, honey, brown sugar, nose, but there is no sort of information when it comes to the ages in this year's blend. So I guess we'll find out sooner or later. Look at this beast. 4 gates, 14 years. Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey finished in port and dark rum casks for 78 months. And it's called Dangerous. That's right, Dangerous. And look at the proof on that baby. 138.4 proof. Damn. That's all I'm going to say. 4-gate, take my money with that release. That's probably going to be a $300, $350 bottle, though, I'm guessing. So that's going to be a rough one. So the money I save on my Angel's Envy bottles, I'll just buy that. There you go. Win-win. Looks like Jack Daniels is releasing a single barrel special release. But this one says Coy Hill Barrel House 8. Now, the proof on this is 80, but that I don't think that's going to be the case. I think that's just for position only, because usually the Coy Hill single barrels are heavily have a lot of proof to it. So we'll see what happens. But this looks like it's going to be their next single barrel special release here. Coy Hill single barrel. So I don't know, but Barrel House 8 specifically So I guess we'll get some more information as this becomes closer to release. Starlight's releasing a toasted barrel bourbon. It's going to be a limited release. And last but not least, I just thought I'd throw this in here because it was funny. Look, 13 Colony is adding straight to their labels. Hallelujah. There it is, straight. So everybody can stop giving them shit for not being straight on the label. There you go, guys. And that concludes tonight's What to See on the TTV. Holy shit. Oh, man. All right. Let's get into these. Let's see what we get here. I'm going to try some of these All Points West whiskeys first. See if these are worth seeking out for you guys. These are pretty different here. So this is a malt and grain pot still whiskey. That's cast strength. Well, are all these cast strength? Let's see what we got here. That's a rye. And then this is grain and malt pot still whiskey. So all points West out of Newark, New Jersey. Newark. Who knew? We got distilleries in Newark making whiskey. I'll be down at 13 Colony tomorrow. I'll let them know it's hit the TTV, says James Lay. Oh, man. Two best news programs. This and SNL Weekend Update. Fucking finally, I noticed the Middle West doesn't say straight either, but maybe it's because it's finished. I think it does say straight in another part of the label. That was a small part of the label, Eric. So, all right, let's go to the bottle cam here. So this is All Points West, guys. Now, they did send me these to try. Grain and malt pot still whiskey. Now, from what I've heard, they've won a good amount of awards here. Take that what you will. I mean, people. So, I think like I've always said, awards can help. Some young distillers get notoriety. But there are a lot of cynical drinkers that don't take too much into awards. But it does help smaller distillers. All right, so this is malt and grain pot still whiskey. Oh no, that's the rum cask one. This is batch 13, bottle number 5, and it's 92 proof. So that's the 92 proof one. So a little bit lower in proof. Let's see here. What's the mash bill? That's not it. That's not it. All right, 60% corn, 30% malt, 10% wheat, virgin and reused American oak. All right. Grain and malt pasta. Let's try it. See what we got. Yeah, I'm trying to. I did pull up their website. So let's see here. All Points West, Jersey's best. All Points West is named after the old Jersey Central Railroad that carried passengers from Ellis Island in Jersey City to All Points West. Newark was the cheapest ticket and first stop west and became a magnet for many beer drinking and beer making immigrants from different countries. The other important component to the quote was the quality of the water. Once Newark invested in its own watershed in northern New Jersey at the turn of the last century, as opposed to relying on the tributaries of the Passaic River that were becoming increasingly polluted, beer production quadrupled. So when asked why we chose Newark over other communities, I wanted the water from the Newark watershed and didn't want to be dependent on well water like some communities. So, okay. So we're kind of leaning into the water of it, which makes sense. You want to have good water for the whiskey. So let me put this up to the camera for you guys. There it is. I want to put this up before, but show you guys again here. All right. All right, well, it smells grainy. It smells youthful here. It's malty. 44% aged, 39 months in new cooperage, 56% aged, 36 months in, what does that say? Seasoned? Does that say seasoned? I can't even read this shit. Reused American oak. Okay. Just got my 13 Colony. Oh, yeah, there you go. There you go, Adam. They chose Newark because they have Devil season tickets. All All right, first pour here. It actually is pretty sweet. I mean, it's malty but sweet. I mean, I think there's a little bit of a kind of a marshmallowy, like a bright marshmallow note here. But yeah, it's malty, man. All right, let's give this one a try here. It is toasty. It's got this toasted bread and butter note to it. It's sweet. I'm telling you, I was really scared off the nose because I thought it was going to give me that sour, bitter, youthful note, and I'm not getting that at all, which is a good thing. However, it is grain forward, so you have to like, I guess, more youthful grain forward whiskeys. If you're okay with that, then I think this is actually not too bad. I was expecting a lot worse off the nose because it does come off a little bit grainy. Oh, I got a super chat from Jeff. I'm sorry. Where's Jeff? Oh, Jeff Winbush, you're my C-bus brother from another mother, Jason, but F your train and rice whiskey. Cheers, Jeff. That's freaking brilliant. Love it. Love that one. All right, guys, stay tuned because we're going to be doing, we are going to get to the dark arts here and also the Stagg. We're going to end the night with the Stagg 23C. Actually, I might do that one after the All Points West just because I want to taste that. Because the Dark Arts has some finishes here that I want to get into. Yeah, it's got this like sweet breadiness to it. It's almost like a brioche bread almost. It's crazy. I think the pot still helps it. Gives a lot of spice, a lot of texture. But again, it's grain forward. So I think there's some good and there's some... I'm not going to say not good because if people just tend to not like grain forward, I don't mind grain forward whiskeys. I'm wondering what actually Fred Minnick feels about this because he likes grain forward whiskeys. So I'm wondering if he's had this, what he thinks about this one. This one's not bad. You know, you do wish for some more age on here, but the pot still, the malt, everything that's kind of... I feel like when it says grain and malt pot still, I feel like you could taste every piece of that. So, and I don't know. I was expecting it to be not as good as it is. I mean, there's obviously work to be done here, but, you know, not too bad. I want to get into this one because this is a cask strength version of what I just had, but finished in a rum cask. So I'm going to get into that one. Is the Dark Arts a Brook Lottie release, says Alan Pulowski? No. Dark Arts is a new NDP out of Lexington, Kentucky. We'll get into all that. So this is the cask strength variant, guys. Virgin American Oak, rum cask, starting with the, let's see, 64% malt, 36% corn, Virgin American Oak. But finished in a rum cask, I believe, right? I thought this was the rum. Does it say rum cask? Limited release. Oh, yeah. Rum cask finish. Oh, duh. Blind. All right. Let me show you guys this one right here. That's the rum cask finish. There's the indication for rum cask and a little label there that says cask strength. Let's see what we got here. I mean, the nose is way better. Comes off more rounded. Oh, man, what is that flavor? Hold on a second. The finish on this makes it. There's something weird up front that I'm trying to pinpoint what that is, but as far as the back end of this is where it's at. You get a little bit of the rum, you get the spice, you get the grain, and like that breadiness with the sweet. It's kind of like this. I don't know. It's like that toasted bread I was getting the other one with like some sort of like jam on top. It's a lot more fruit forward. I think it's darker and richer than the other one. I think the cask strength helps too. It kind of pushes those flavors forward. It's not as grainy as the lower proof one we had. Yeah, it's got like this cherry Jolly Rancher note. It's like sweet and tart. And then the back end has the, I think you get the rum mainly on the back end, which is kind of nice. That's where you get hit with a little bit of like a maple syrup note. This one's really good. This one is nice. This one I like. Yeah, this one's pretty damn delicious. So this one is, man, it's $81. That's tough. That's a tough price point. Yeah. I can see that being a little bit tough for some people, but yeah, that's good. It doesn't have a ton of depth to it, but it's definitely way more flavorful than the regular, and it's also more flavorful than the finish on it is way better. Like I said, Jolly Rancher, really nice fruit forward notes from the rum cask. You get the green, you get the pot still spice. It's that spicy, sweet maltiness combination. This is actually really nice. I wish this was cheaper, to be honest with you guys, but that's a nice whiskey. I dig that one. What time is it? Oh, it's 10:27 already. All right, I think I'll try the rye another time here. I do want to get into these other bottles here. So let's get to the Stagg. That's what I really want to get into. I know you guys want me to get into the Stagg. Bill Mills, Jason, have you had a chance to try any of the Still Austin whiskey? I'm sipping on the single barrel cask strength. It's really good. Dude, Still Austin I can't wait. Next month, we're traveling out to Still Austin to do a barrel pick for Mash and Journey. Cannot wait to taste all their stuff. Maybe I'll have to check these guys, Newark guys out. Yeah, I mean, I think they're making actually good stuff, even at the younger age. I think they got something in the works there. I think they got something. That rum cask one is actually really good. I do like that one. What flavor of Jolly Rancher? I think it's like a strawberry. It's like a combination of like a strawberry, I mean, maybe like a little bit of like that apple one kind of mixed in, but I think it's more like a cherry Jolly Rancher on the back end of it. It's got a little bit of sour note to it too. That's why I'm thinking of like the green apple one, because there's a little like sour hit, but then the finish on it is just all sweet. So really good stuff. All right, before I get the Stagg 23s, I want to get the 22A. Give me 1 second here. Is this it? That's 22B. Where's my 22A? 22A. Nailed it. All right, guys. 22A. I got it. We will compare here shortly. My wife was perplexed. Thanks for clarifying. All right. So 22C. I'm sorry, 23C. I keep saying 22, damn it. All right, guys. So 23C comes in at a lower proof, 125.9. That's pretty low for a Stagg, if you think about it. Let's hold it up to the bottle cam here. Oh, look at it in all its glory. Stagg. There you go. And then it'll go against the 22A here. There you go. And there it is. All right. I'm going to start off with just the 22. Keep saying 22. 23. 23C, Jason. Damn it. All right. Let's see what we got here. Now, when I first tried this, I was comparing it with this bottle, the Old Forester single barrel proof bourbon that I got at the gift shop last time I was there. Have you ever tried Good Times? Whiskey Guy, we're going to get into the dark arts as soon as we're done with this one. So we'll get there. Have you ever tried? I have tried some Good Times. I don't know. I'm just not like a big fan of the Good Time stuff. It's just, there's just too much going on, man. It's too many finishes. Now, in the beginning, when I had like a couple of the like single finish Good Times, I thought those were okay. I didn't have an issue with those, but when you get into all like the Neapolitan, chocolate, strawberry, pineapple, watermelon, at that point, just go buy flavored vodka, flavored liqueur. Go buy Crown Royal Blackberry at that point. It's like, I don't know. Listen, whiskey drinkers, are, you know, their palates are getting sweeter and sweeter over time. I get that part of it, and I think it's a good way to get whiskey drinkers into different types of getting into whiskey. But I feel like the sweeter you're going to make this stuff, the less likely, you know, they're inclined to maybe try something straight, like just like an Evan Williams or a Wild Turkey or a Buffalo Trace or something like that. Like the sweeter these things get with the more finishes, I just don't know where that ends. Like how many finishes can you add to a whiskey before? I mean, to me, it's just not bourbon anymore. It just becomes it's like a liqueur at that point. They did it. Nick Foles. Yeah, they did a watermelon. They did a combination of watermelon too. Good times, teriyaki beef jerky. I'd be there for, says Alan Pulowski. Yeah, I don't think so. All right, let's get into this letter C here. 125 proof. Kind of dig that about it. Not everything needs to be 130 and change. All right, nose. Man, I got the nice oak and grape. You know what, guys? Let me do a little experiment here. Now, normally when I play music, the audio gets messed up. But now that the audio is going through a different port, you guys tell me if it actually sounds okay, and hopefully I don't have to screw with anything here. But you guys tell me the music sounds all right. Because I just feel like it's too quiet while I'm little music. Is this distorting my voice at all? You guys let me know in the comments. Again, my new setup. Just wanna get some feedback from you guys. All right, there we go. You guys let me know if it sounds okay. I'm just going to talk here through the tasting notes, and you let me know if my voice if it's messing with my voice at all. The microphone sounds good. Nope, sounds good. Sounds good. All right, cool. It seems fine now. Sounds all good. Okay, cool. Looks like this kind of fixed itself. Perfect. Beautiful. That's what I wanted. Bring on the I'm a Barbie Girl song. You want the Barbie Girl? All right, on the nose here, guys. It's oak and grape. I get a lot of grapiness on this. And if you guys have tried this on you know, the Stagg 23C, let me know in the chat. Going on the mic a bit high. Mic sounds fine. Little distorted. Getting some distortion. Feedback is no feedback on your end. Mic sounds fine. Little distorted. You know what? Let me just lower it a little bit. It could just be picking up on the mic here. I'm just going to lower that a little bit. That might sound a little bit better. Yep, that might sound a little bit better, guys. I just lowered the music a little bit, kind of keep it light. I don't know. I feel like the nose isn't as in your face as I'm used to with Stagg. I feel like this one is a little bit muted. But I am getting a nice little grape punch here, which is kind of nice. All right, let's try this one here, guys. Cheers. I'm glad I tried this again. This is way better. My first sip I had of this, I was getting a really weird finish on it. And now that finish has kind of turned into berry, grape, very fruit forward. I don't think it's as sugary sweet as, like, say, a batch 15. But man, this is nice. It may need a little tuning, but it's coming around like it. Nice to see you. And Bruce will go in and go a few reviews. Yeah, Gregor, I think we're going to do that. I think we're definitely going to do that a little bit. Let me do this song here. Must be laser code 167. Kill the music. Sound was better before. You don't need the background tunes. Okay, I'll kill it. One of these days, I'm going to figure out how to just add a little nice music. I think the music I download just doesn't jive well. This is good. Even at the lower proof, I feel like this gives you That is nice. There's more oak presence here, a little bit more spice. I like the spicy nature of this one. You don't get that a lot with Stagg. It usually comes through as proof. And I think the fact that this is only 125 proof and you're getting some spice on the back end, I think is a good thing. I love that about this. But which micro batch do you have? Oh my God, guys are killing me in the micro batching. Oh God. If I had a nickel for every day when everyone's asking about laser codes and micro batches, I can't even talk about it anymore. Oh my God. Got to figure out how to put port mute. Yeah, exactly, Eric. That's what I got to do. I think there's a way to do it in this. I just have to find out exactly how to do that. So I'll figure it out. That is good. All right, we're gonna have to compare here because 22A was probably my favorite here that I've had a long time. And you know, I gotta thank one of my patrons for sending me this bottle to do a kind of a review and comparison with. So let's do a little bit of a color compare here, guys, because I know you guys. I kind of dig this color comparison. So color's pretty spot on for both of these. I mean, we're pretty close. I mean, this may be a tinge darker when you're talking about the 22A versus the 23C, but let's try it out here. Oh, 23C saying hold my beer. Batches? We don't need no stinking batches. Okay. All right, here we go. Controversial topic. I've said this to a few people, and they thought I was nuts. Buffalo Trace Rock Hill Farms. Overrated. Don't need it. I don't want to buy it ever again. I don't need it. I don't need it in my life. Am I crazy? You guys tell me in chat. First of all, I never see Rock Hill Farms ever. And the 2 or 3 single barrels I've ever had have been, they've been they're okay. They're solid. I think people want it on their shelf more than anything because it is a different type of bottle. But when it comes to Rock Hill Farms, what do you guys think? Are you guys still hunting that bottle? Are you buying it if you get it at a good price? That bottle over the last couple of years has become a non-factor for me in every way. I don't care about it. I don't want to find it. I don't care. If I see it, it's usually way highly marked up. I'm not buying it. I don't know. There's just nothing to me that says I got to spend that type of money on a bourbon from Rock Hill Farms. I'm over it. So discuss that shit. Pass. Man, only buying at retail. I agree. ETL is super disappointing. Elmer T. Lee. Rock Hill Farms does not exist on store shelves. It's kind of boring. Just saw one for 300. Jesus Lord. Just like the look of the bottle, and I said per se in the contents, there's better. Wild Turkey and Jack Daniels for life. I'm sipping Buffalo Trace right now, says Josh Fritz. I've got one. Definitely mood pour, something to share with a friend. Yeah, I mean, I could see that. DJ, discuss that shit. Never had it. I wouldn't say no to it at retail, but otherwise, it's a hard pass for me. Hard pass if it's over $75. I literally just bought a bottle of Rock Hill this week for $250. Never had it, wanted to own it and try one. Says Jason Covey. Jason, I'm sorry. I feel like I'm like talking to you personally. I'm not like personally attacking you. I'm just saying, like, for me, I've had 3 different ones. They're all single barrels. None of them ever like blew my mind enough to like warrant paying the price for it. Right? I don't know. I just feel like it's one of those things where I don't know. Like I say I'm never gonna buy one, and I get this look. Like people look at me like that when I say it. Oh my God. Okay. Yeah. Let's see here. What Rock Hill Farms and Blanton's is all I want, says Patrick Q. Patrick, I don't know if you're serious or you're joking, but that's okay. I mean, for me, it's about Eagle Rare. From Buffalo Trace, it's about Eagle Rare and you know what? I know a lot of people get disappointed in Elmer T. Lee, but I don't know. There's something about that bottle I still love. I don't know what it is. I think it's just the story of Elmer T. Lee. It's just like a thing. It's kind of like ingrained in my brain. Like I just love Elmer T. Lee because the man he was, the story, and I don't know. There's something about that bottle that just gets me, or I get it. I don't know how to explain it. I'll tell you what. The noses are pretty similar on both of these. Similar. I meant similar, not similar. All right, let's try the 22A. Tell you what, this is why I like this 23C so much. It's very close to 22A. They both have that oak, spice, dark fruit type of note to it. It's not overly sweet like a lot of Staggs can sometimes get. I think it actually brings a hell of a lot of flavor here. Oh, man. Shoot, I might like 23C a little better. Son of a bitch. The problem with Stagg, though, is... Never gonna get it, never gonna get it, never gonna get it, never gonna get it. Without going to secondary. That's the thing about Stagg for me. Shit. Oh, man. I like that one a lot, though. That's good. Jason, speaking of Stagg, will there be a 2024 GTS later this year? Yeah, from what I heard, there will be. $23C was my winner. I thought it was as good, but more balanced than 22A. MJ, I think I'm right there with you. I think 23C might be a little bit better balanced than the 22A. There's just the mix of spice, grapiness, cherry, and this has this long, lingering finish that I don't think I'm getting on the 22A. I know what I like about the 22A, and it's the yeah, Paul, you should crack it. It's good, man. What I liked about the 22A was the balance of oak and sweet. Again, I always say that Stagg generally gets a little bit too sweet for me. A lot of people love it. I like if the sweet is like all like dark fruit sweet and it has a decent finish, I can handle it. It's like batch 15, which was like pure sugar. That one wasn't really my jam. I know a lot of people like that one a lot. But I think that the 23C has a longer finish to it. It's crazy. And when you're comparing proof points, this is 132.2, while the 23C is 125.9. And it's got this longer lingering spice that it's got. Dude, I'm all in. 23C is really good. I don't know if it's better than 22A. I'll have to do a blind. Maybe my next review, you'll see me do a full review of 23C. Maybe I'll throw 23A in there. Maybe batch 12 in the mix and see what comes out on top as we're kind of like tasting my favorite Staggs. Yeah, shit. Maybe I'll do a triple base this week. That'll be fun. That's a lot of Stagg. You guys want to see a triple base of all three of those? I'll do batch 12, this one, and 23C. What do you think? I could definitely do that. I'm doing that. I'm not even asking. I'm doing it. That's good. That is good shit. Yeah, 23C. If you guys have a chance to get it, yeah, that's a pickup. That is a definite buy for sure for me. Man, I got to do this blind. That's going to be interesting. All right. Stagg 23C, killing it. Damn. All right. Gonna need a little water here. All right, guys, it's that time. It's 10:46. Holy shit. We got to get to these dark art samples. Give me a question of the week. You guys know I like doing this. Question of the week. So far we've had top favorite 80s cartoons and my top 5 cereals. What else you guys got? Give me a question of the week as I pour out these dark arts. We'll get into this a little bit before we call it a night. Love you guys. Again, if you haven't yet, please hit that like button below. It definitely helps the channel, helps the algorithm, and getting me up to that 100,000 subscriber mark. So, Doc's out. So my batch 12 has been open for a little while, but it's pretty full. So I haven't drank it down in a while. I got a backup a long time ago, and there's a lot left. It's not like it's been getting a lot of oxidation at all. So I feel like it could be a good comparison. All right, let's talk about dark arts a little bit here. So dark arts. So, well, first and foremost, let me show you these cool bottles here. So this is the standard bottle here, guys. Dark Arts. There it is. Dark Arts Whiskey House. They are based in Lexington, Kentucky. There you go. Cool bottles. They also sent me the samples here, which are pretty cool. Little sample bottles. Yeah, this camera's doing good here. Nice. Boxers or briefs, says Mr. Jiggs. Jiggsy, I go boxer briefs. I go with the hybrid, the boxer briefs. That's my jam. All right, guys. I will get to the questions here in a bit, but let's go to. I just want to talk a little bit about dark arts, real quick. Dark Arts Whiskey House, created by Macaulay Minton and David Peat. Now, Macaulay was the whiskey swami or the bourbon swami, I think. And I met him actually the first time over at Wilderness Trail. He previously oversaw Wilderness Trail single barrel program for 5 years. So he was with Wilderness Trail for a good amount of time. David Peat runs the business side as CEO and also carries the title Master Distiller, even though, as the company points out, they don't own a still. And Peat's own profile has no mention of distilling background. But for now, Dark Arts Whiskey House is focused on blending, rebarreling, and finishing, with their website adding, inspired by the alchemists of old, our master blenders wield underutilized maturations and blending techniques to transform wood, fire, grain, and water into liquid gold. Using equal parts mastery and belief in the unknown, we procure high-quality ingredients, create custom blends, and age them in unconventional barrels to craft unique and elevated whiskeys. That is some marketing speak right there. So this is their, let's see, this is their straight rye whiskey finished in a Madeira and in an Armagnac cask, 113.56 proof. Let's see here. This is, all right. So this is not the French oak one, but we will get into it. So, again, guys, this is out of Lexington, Kentucky. I'm not sure what like their visiting situation is. If you guys want to go there, I know the Bourbon Junkies. I know Dan and Sean did a pick there recently, which I bought, and I absolutely love the pick. I cracked it open on a live stream, I think, a couple weeks ago, so you guys can kind of go back and check that out. But let's try this rye whiskey in Madeira and Armagnac. Like on paper, this can't be bad. It just can't be. And I think a price point for this here, let's see. French oak, toasted Amurana. Oh, okay. So they actually include this little card here, which is kind of cool. Check this out, guys. The 7 stages of whiskey alchemy. I love this new camera. Latin translation. Kitsugi. I mean, they kind of go through this whole, they really lean into this dark arts symbolism thing, which is really cool. But yeah, so we're going to go through these 3 samples here too. If we have time. It's 10:50. I got some time. Okay. Biggie or Tupac, says Nick Foles. I was a Biggie guy, man. Brooklyn, for sure. Buzzwords. ADHD whiskey, yes. Matt, full of the buzzwords. Favorite whiskey label, not bottle shape, but labels you like the best. Oh, the labels. That's a good question, actually. I like the new Remus labels, to be honest. I like the way these look. I like the kind of the old school like vibe to them. This is kind of one of my favorites here. The new Remus label there. I dig that one a lot. It's kind of my style. I also like I mean, there's something iconic about E.H. Taylor. Just that the tube, the way the label is made, that might be my favorite. There's just something about the E.H. Taylor label that just draws you in. Maybe the fact that it's freaking yellow like that. I don't know. But there's definitely something about that. Who else? I mean, Old Carter has a nice classic look to it. Orphan Barrel, I think, does a nice job with their artwork on their bottles, too. Yeah, I think those are kind of the ones that jump to mind, to be honest. Ben Holiday. Ben Holiday is kind of a cool label. All right, let's try this one, guys. And let me see if I can... yeah, the new Rare Bird's pretty slick. Macaulay's doing some cool things over there at Dark Arts as Robot Scott. I agree, man. Okay, Bigger Tupac. I did that one. 80s cartoons. Street Frogs. Only the realest member. If you know, you know. I still remember the theme song, Master Drum. Google it if you don't know. I'm going to have to look that up. I have no idea what you're talking about. Favorite Schwarzenegger movie? Need an impersonation. Favorite Schwarzenegger movie? That's a good question. I'll probably have to go with... I mean, I loved Terminator 2 so much growing up. That was kind of like my favorite one. But I got to go with Predator. He was just so badass in Predator. Man, when he throws the knife, and like hits the guy and he's like, stick it down. Stick it down. This is fantastic. Do it now. Do it. Get to the chopper. Like, there was so many great like lines in that movie. I think it's Commando. I'm going to go Commando. Top 5 old school shows. Honeymooners, I Dream of Jeannie, Bewitched, Bonanza, Hogan's Heroes. That's a good one. The Dark Arts unadulterated whiskeys are good, but the finished stuff is not good, says Doc Scout. Okay. Top 3 drummers of all time. I mean, yeah, that's probably pretty easy. Neil Peart, Stuart Copeland from the Police. Third would be probably Michael Portnoy. Those are probably my top 3. Best 80s TV theme songs. Favorite sitcom. All right, yeah, let's do that. Let's do favorite sitcoms. That's always a fun one. That always like sparks some good debate. Okay, let's do it now. Do it. It's not a tumor. I can't do Schwarzenegger as good as I wish I could. All right. Let me think about my top sitcoms of all time, because this will be a good one. So the rye whiskey in this Dark Arts, this has a really nice finish to it. You still get the rye; it's not overdone. I always get nervous when I see a double finish, because I feel like in this case, the Madeira and the Armagnac is going to overpower the rye whiskey. That's not the case. I really do feel like you get the rye. This is MGP. Let's see here. Distilled in Indiana. Yeah, so this is MGP, 95.5. Man, it's super fruit forward for a rye whiskey, but it still carries a 95.5 spice. I think you get all the 95.5 quintessential flavors up front, but then just the fruit explodes on the back of the palate. I think you get like that little bit of a dusty funk from the Armagnac right in the mid palate. Then the Madeira kicks in. It almost gets a little bit nutty. It gets citrus forward. It gets rich. It's dark. That is fantastic. That's a really nice finished rye whiskey right there. Yeah, 113.56 proof is not going to kill you. Oh my God, you guys are John Bonham, dude. Yeah, how did I leave John Bonham off the list? Yeah, Keegan, I might have to replace Michael Portnoy with John Bonham, or Stuart Copeland with John Bonham, to be honest. Stuart Copeland would make my top 5, but yeah, John Bonham would probably be up there. Yep, for sure. All right, so that's the rye, and the rye is actually pretty fantastic. Let's go to these 3 here, and these are 3 different finishes. So it looks like we have a French oak bourbon, a barely legal bourbon, and it. Oh man, there's an Amburana in here. I don't want the Amburana. Shit. No Amburana. Bad Amburana. I want to try the French oak right now. Is this the French oak right here? French oak bourbon, 108 proof, small batch, 60% corn, 36% rye, 4% malted barley. All right. Yeah, I'm in on this one. Yeah, French oak. Hell yeah. If you guys don't know this already, I love French oak. All right, top 5 sitcoms. So get on there. Okay. So I'm going to just name 5 and then I'll try to rank them here. And there's going to be a little bit of a unique one that I don't know if everybody has heard of or everybody likes. But we'll get into this one. Okay. So this is not ranked yet. I'll try to rank them as we go. Holy crap, that is so Amburana. All right. Oh my god, I'm gonna break this thing. Ugh. Oh, there we go. Okay. All right, so first on my list would probably be The Office, and that one might be number 1 for me regardless. That show I can watch constantly over and over and over and over. I love The Office. Is this the Amburana one? Because that's, oh my god, it's all I effing smell. Yeah, I'm putting that over here. Jesus Christmas. All right, so we're going to do the French oak bourbon. Oh, man, 160% corn. This is a high rye, 36%, and 108 proof. All right. Oh, baby. So this is good cinnamon. This isn't that shitty Amburana, like artificial cinnamon. This is good cinnamon on the French oak. It's very fruit forward, honey. That's nice. The Office is what? What does that say? The Office is goated. Yeah, I think The Office. I would put Parks and Rec up there for me too. Parks and Rec, The Office, definitely in my top 5. Those 2 shows I can watch anytime, anywhere. I love that damn show. Both of those shows. So those are 2. Now the other 3, that's tough. Because basically how I'm judging this is just basically off of like what I've gone back and watched over the course of time. And I'm not including cartoons in this. This is outside of cartoons. This is just shows that I used to watch. So sick of Amburana. Dude, I was so close to getting the Rye 3 Cigar Series. Oh, okay, he's talking to him. I missed it. Was Danny Carey on your top drummers? He is outstanding. He would probably be the other one in my top 5 as well. So I already named my top 3. So it'd be Neil Peart. Neil Peart, Mike Portnoy, John Bonham, Danny Carey, and probably Stuart Copeland would probably be my 5th. Oh, see? This is a perfect representation of why you don't need a lot of all these different finishes to make something exceptional. That French oak bourbon is delicious. Dude. Oh my gosh. It's got like this mix of like raspberry jam and toffee to it on the palate. That's stupid good. Yeah, again, guys, this is the Dark Arts French Oak. Let me switch cameras here so you guys can see that. Obviously, this is not the full bottle; it's a sample. But I would imagine that the big bottle has a red label like the one that we're looking at here on the sample. But that is stupid good. This is raspberry and caramel all day long. And I love the high rye of it because the sweet doesn't take over. I think it gives you a nice spice on the back end of that one. Dude. That's one of the best things I've had tonight. Especially when you talk about the Stagg, like Stagg 23C was really good, but that French oak one is. But I love French oak. Slippin' Jimmy would know, right? All right, so Office, Parks and Rec. Number 3 would be, or the third one I would put in there is, man, growing up. As far as sitcoms, I would have to say, I don't want to go too far back. I want to keep these somewhat current because I could go like crazy with some of the older shows I watched, like growing up, like Taxi, Honeymooners. My family loved the Honeymooners growing up. My Uncle Joey, who had Down syndrome, who I've talked about, my Uncle Joey had Down syndrome, and he loved Ralph Cramden and the Honeymooners. And I fell in love with that show because he loved it and always watched it. Yeah, for sure. Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Yeah, you could definitely probably add that to my list. Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Yeah, that might make my top 5. I need to let's see. I need to just kind of look at a list here and just see what I'm forgetting about. All right, yeah, so I have Parks and Rec. I have I would have to put Friends up there. I grew up watching Friends. That would be in my top 5. So Parks and Rec, The Office, Friends. Let's see, who else? What else? Oh yeah, Big Bang Theory, for sure. Love Big Bang Theory. Was up there. I loved How I Met Your Mother to a certain point until I started hating Ted Mosby. He was the most annoying fucking character on TV. I could not stand him. So he kind of ruined it for me. Wasn't into it. Yeah, let's see here. And you know what? I know this might sound crazy, but there's a lot of others we can kind of dive into, like, I don't know, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and some others. But I gotta say, for me, Everybody Loves Raymond. Everybody Loves Raymond, for me, is one of those shows I can forever go back and watch because it reminds me of, there's a lot of stuff that goes on in that show that reminds me of my own family. And I think that connection made me love that show. Like the mother that makes all the Italian food, who was kind of like my grandmother and just always had, I don't know, shut up. Yeah. So Everybody Loves Raymond, Friends, Big Bang Theory, Parks and Rec, and Office. Those would probably be my top 5. Curb Your Enthusiasm and maybe It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, would probably could make a run for it as well. There's a lot there. Scrubs. Scrubs is a good one too. Seinfeld I did love too, but I just didn't get into Seinfeld a lot like as some other folks. But I did love that one. Maybe I don't know if Friends would make my top 5. Now that I'm thinking about it and like looking at all these other ones, there's so many good sitcoms. Does like, oh my God, Schitt's Creek. Schitt's Creek was hilarious. That might be my top 5. There's so many good ones. I don't even know where to go with that one. Schitt's Creek was hilarious. Everybody Loves Raymond. I did like Frasier growing up. I did watch Frasier a lot. Married with Children. How can you not like Married with Children? Fucking Saved by the Bell. I'm just calling out some other ones, guys, that I really like, watching. You have some of the ones that were on like on HBO or like, you have like Ted Lasso that some people really liked. Like I already mentioned, Curb Your Enthusiasm. But yeah, I'm going to have to refine that list. I got to think on that because I think there would be a pretty variable list for a top 5. But I'll work on it for next week, guys. I promise. All right, let's try this one. We'll do the last one of the night here, guys. This is the Barely Legal Bourbon, cast strength small batch, 51% corn, 39% rye, 10% malted barley. So let's see what we get here with this one. And guys, if you have any ideas for questions of the week, just so I don't have to ask you live, feel free to put it down in the comments, kind of start curating these. These are always fun to talk about with you guys. This is super, super fruit forward. So that seems to be the ongoing theme that I've noticed with all three of these so far, is how fruit forward all three are. So the palate, it goes a little bit darker. It gets into a cherry. It gets into a toffee. Back end has a little bit of a milk chocolate note. And then I think on the very back end, you get that high rye spice there. I don't know which one I like more. This is really good. Now, I don't really know what they did to this one. It doesn't say. It just says cast strength, small batch. So it's a small batch. So they batched some bourbons together to create this. This is a little bit more of a traditional flavor profile, but with more fruit forward notes here. This could pass for a high rye, almost like a Stagg in a way, with that heavy cherry, or maybe like a wild turkey a little bit. That's really good. What finish have you not seen in whiskey that you wish you did? Says fifth quarter tailgate. That's I think we'll have to explore that, Justin, because I really like what they're doing here. If any of you have not tried anything from Dark Arts, I would suggest you do. They're really making some nice stuff here. It's good stuff. A finish that I wish, I don't know, man. What's out there? What? I think the one thing I requested from Starlight was their blueberry port wine on a rye. I would love to see a blueberry port rye finish. Yes. That's the dream. Blueberry port, because I love blueberries. But a blueberry port with a rye whiskey on it? Hell yeah. I want it. I want it. Oh yeah, Home Improvement. That was a good one. WKRP in Cincinnati. Italian Oak. You know what? I really do want to see the Amaretto. I want to see DiSerono. So DiSerono bought Sagamore, or a big portion of Sagamore. I want to see a DiSerono finished Sagamore cast strength. I really do want to see that this year too at some point. Like I said, I don't know how DiSerono was made. Is it even Asian barrels? I have no clue, but I want to see it. I want to see DiSerono and that rye whiskey from Sagamore somehow come together. I think that would be delicious. Yes. Blueberry port wine. So instead of making, so you have port wine that's made with port grapes, but they do make port wine with just straight up blueberries. So yeah. I wanted to see the rye whiskey and blueberry port from Starlight. So if anyone from Starlight is watching, the Mash and Drum is requesting a personal case of blueberry port finished rye whiskey. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Rice whiskey finished in Sriracha barrels and bulgogi staves. Please go back and watch Blue Mountain State, at least the first season. Oh, and also, what was the other show I used to watch all the time? Then we'll get out of here, guys. The League. How good was that show, The League? That was a great show, too. All right. We'll end it there. Too many shows. If you guys are still watching, in the comments, give me your top 5 sitcoms. Maybe we'll kind of get a running list. We'll talk about it next week here on the Mash and Drum. Love you guys. Thanks so much for tuning in tonight. Head on over to Women of Whiskeys, who's going live right now. And thanks to everybody, All Points West, to Dark Arts, to the patrons that helped me get these bottles. Really appreciate all the help, guys. It was a fun night. Just kind of laid back, talking whiskey, talking with you guys. Absolutely love it. Cheers. I'll see you next week right here on the Mash and Drum. Before we sign off, like I always say, it's not about the whiskey. It's the people you share it with. Cheers, and I'm going to have some more of this French Oak Dark Arts. Cheers, guys. See you soon.